Hey there, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Charlotte with Colorful Teaching for You, and today we're going to look at 3 great attention getters for teachers so that you can use in your elementary classroom. So, it doesn't matter what kind of teacher you are, if you have just started teaching or if you've been teaching for years, you are going to need attention getters to get your kids from either one circumstance or one environment to another. We've all got those kids who sometimes are off task or who have this need to chat about something completely different, right? And if you do, and if you can relate to it, give me an amen, because oh my gosh, I can relate to it. I've had that. So these attention getters are quick and they're an easy way of transitioning our kids. Now be mindful of the fact that not all of them are going to work for you, and that's okay. We all have different personality types. So you're going to pick the ones that work best for you, you're going to practice them, and then you're going to teach them in your class because your kids need to know how to respond to you. Okay? So we've got this. In order to vary it up, because you do need to vary it up so they don't get bored, I've got 4 different activities under each of these strategies. So let's get started with the first one. The first one, I'm going to look down a little bit because I do have notes so that I don't forget all the different activities here for you, okay? So the first one is called repetition. So here is, it's also called or known as a response or call and response type of attention getter. Here, the teacher gives or throws out a catchy phrase and the students come back with a witty response. So let's go with the 4 different types or examples. The first one, Marco Polo. So the teacher might say Marco and the kids might say Polo, right? And at that point the kids are moving their attention back to the teacher. Or you might do it a couple of times. Or the next one, the teacher might say peanut butter and the kids will say jelly time. I don't know if you've seen the Go Noodle one where they go peanut butter jelly time, right? So that's why you might do something like that. Or the third one is the teacher might say ready to rock and the kids will say ready to roll. So you've got different activities there. The fourth one is Scooby-Doo. So they might go Scooby-Doo, where are you? Or you might sing it out and say Scooby-Dooby-Doo. And the kids might say where are you? Right? So there are 4 different call and response or repetition attention getters. So like I said, this did not work out so well for me in my first year of teaching, and it works out better for me now. So the second one, this one worked better for me, but you never know, everyone's different, is movement. So here it's where you do something, you do a type of movement and your kids are going to repeat what you're doing. This is also great for those kids who are struggling to sit in their seats and they need a bit of a brain break. This is a great form. So you're actually just going with 2 different things at one time. Okay? So here's 4 different examples. Number 1, clap. So the teacher claps and the kids clap back. So you are not going to just do 1, right? You might vary it up. And the kids might go. Or you might go. And the kids might go. Or you might go. Right? So you see, like you might change it up and the kids will respond back. The second one is touch. Now while you're touching, you would be touching your different body parts. While you're touching the different body parts, the teachers often say, if you can hear me, touch your head twice. If you can hear me, or if you can see me, touch your nose once. If you can hear me again, touch each of your shoulders 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? And the kids would copy it. And you might raise your voice, you might slow your voice down because you want to bring, sorry, you probably didn't hear that, but you might soften your voice so that your kids at the back of the room who are struggling to hear will have to focus back on you to try and figure out what you're saying. Does that make sense? And then the third part, so I'm getting really into it so you can hear, I'm jumbling my words a little bit there. The third one is dance. So here you might do a little wiggle here, and then your kids copy, and then you might slide on over and you might do another whoop, dance. So it's just you're getting up and you're moving and your kids are following. You might spin a bit, whatever you like, do any dance move. The kids are not going to be like so odd, like this is not even fun, or they're not going to be saying like she can't dance. And you know what, I can't dance, and so I tell my kids cannot do it, but we're doing it anyway, we're going to have some fun. right? Let's do it. Next one is tap. So if you are working on an assignment, like let's say you're doing science, and what you need for your kids is to have a science book. You might need them to have their highlighter and their pen, because let's face it, I'm a teacher and that's what I have on my desk right now. You would have, in order to restate what you asked them to have on their desk, you might say, all right, if you've got your math folder, tap it twice. If you've got your highlighter, tap it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. If you've got your pen, tap it loud and soft. You see what I mean? And you may not just stick with that. You might go, okay, let's go faster. Like, you know, might go I don't know, I'm making this up right now, but you might go faster. You might go right. So you're probably creating a rhythm or something with just the items that they have on their desk, so that those who don't have it, they're going to pull it out and they're going to try and get right into this activity with everybody else. And then the class is now set for the next activity, which in this case was science. Okay, so that's movement. The third one is props. So for this, I'm sorry to say this, but I've left my items at school because I use all of these in school actually. So I'm going to try and explain this to you as the best way I can. So when you're using props, this actually saves your voice, because you don't have to talk, you don't have to say anything to them, you don't have to nag, right? It's all just based on the children hearing and the children responding. But you do have to pre-teach this one as well. So when you hear this sound, what do? Your mouths are closed and you're frozen in place. And you're listening. Your listening ears are on. Okay? So what I like to use, number one, is musical instruments. So you might use drums, you might use tambourines, you might use tambourines or maracas. So I use all 3 of them because I like to vary it up. You might also use mindfulness instruments to get their attention, so that they're now, from loud, we're now bringing it in, and we're calming ourselves down, our minds down, and we're ready to focus. So I use wind chimes. I have those in my class, and I also like to use bells. So when I talk about bells, I mean like, you're ringing a bell. Just a small bell, nothing big. I don't like the loud sounds. Something soft enough that my class can hear it. The next is squeaky toys. This is really great for primary grades, not so much for high school. It could also fly in intermediate grades, because I've used it in intermediate and the kids still seem to respond to it. So you know your kids and you'll figure that one out with your students. But squeaky toys are, for me, I have a little Winnie the Pooh. I squish him and he makes little scrunchy noises, and the kids hear it at the back of the room and they know it's time to freeze. You might also use ones where if you move it, is a little rattle in there and that makes a sound. But this is better for just transitioning your kids and not so much trying to get their attention if they're really loud, because chances are squishy toys and rattles cannot be heard all the way to the back of the room. Okay. The fourth one is to use a singing bowl. This you can use for back of the room. So what I like to do here is I take my singing bowl, let's pretend this is my bowl, and I will take the little stick that comes with it, and I might hit it against the bowl very gently at first, and I just kind of make it louder and louder as I go until I know my class has heard it. Or I might just take it and just go along the inside of the bowl right there, so that the kids can actually hear the sound as it goes. But I don't make it too loud, because depending on what kind of singing bowl you have, the pitch can be quite loud, and that can it's not fun for the ears. So I keep it to where I just need the kids' attention, and that's it. Okay, so far let's recap really quickly what we've talked about. The importance of using attention getters in your classroom to either refocus your children or to get them from one environment to another. And the 3 types that we've looked at is repetition, movement, and props. Okay? Now, if you are feeling stressed out because you've got so much of planning to do and you don't know what to do, please join my free masterclass, where you get some hands-on training about being at least a week ahead with your planning. so that you get to spend time on the things that you love, doing the things that you love, or in, you know what, practicing some of these attention getters and just having some fun with it. All right? In the meantime, remember to create experience and teach from the heart. I will see you again next week, same place, same time. Take care, my friends. Bye.